Well, hello there and welcome to the Attic of the Dollhouse for another reading from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Garrett Goldschneider and you Stelfers for August 31st, the day of the public appearance. Here at the top of the page, as a visual representation of the day of the public appearance, I'd suppose, we have us. Oh, well, it's a trumpet with, I don't know, stylized tubing, I'd suppose. I don't know, I've never seen anything like that out in the wild. But perhaps it exists. But here nor there, alright? Hey, is it your birthday today and it's August 31st? Well, if it is, I want to extend you a heartfelt happy birthday. And if this video finds you long or shortly after your birthday has already come and gone, well, I hope you had a happy birthday. And for everyone else who's just joining us randomly out of curiosity, or more importantly, to celebrate the August 31st birthday, well, I just want to say hello and welcome. And I hope you enjoy yourself. Now, you may be wondering why the layout is different for today than it normally is if you've dropped on in the past. Well, today we had super blue moon. That's right, August 31st was a super blue moon day. And so I thought it only appropriate that we celebrate your birthday by celebrating that in kind, to mark the occasion, if you like. And I know I did so by doing an 11.5-hour stream of putting together a Van Gogh Starry Night Lego set. You see it right back there. It was a doozer there. So this is coming in a little bit late on my account, but hey, no matter. I had to get in on and do your birthday, so I thought I would celebrate in kind. Enough of that. Let's just enjoy it, shall we? Because normally don't come down in from the attic, but hey, it's the best place to view the moon, I suppose. Before we get in with the birthday read proper, stop screwing around and roll some dice. That's right. And for those of you who don't know why we roll dice, well, this is the DykASSt birthday cast. Oh, getting a little premature there. So we got to live up to the namesake, but more importantly, we do it for synchronicity's sake. That's right, folks. And we rolled us a 2 and a 3 for a 5. I'm about to say 4 for some reason. 2 and a 3 for a 5. And what is synchronicity for those of you who have never heard of such a thing? Well, it's just you going out into the world looking for these numbers, or perhaps some of your own if you decide to go through. Oh, that's not it. It was a 2 and a 3 there. Oh, doing one take, one shot. 2 and a 3 for a 5, all right? And when you get out there and you chase down those numbers when you see them. And sometimes the signs are different, too. You might see a sign that says, oh, follow the magic, or maybe super blue moon, who's to say? But it's things that might start to form a theme, or things that just scream out to you that the universe is on your side as you go down your path. And it doesn't necessarily need to be anything grandiose. Sometimes it's just small little things to help you know the universe is on your path. So go after your numbers, see what you see, and, at the very least, you're getting out and getting your steps in. But I do have a small little story for you. As I was, before I started preparing my notes for today, for the birthday read, I heard Sir Paul McCartney's song, Uncle Albert, right? And there's a part in that song where there's a little maybe you've heard it? Well, when I was working over at AutoZone, we had this, there was the wall with all the radiator hoses, and there was one radiator hose setup that was just a monster. I mean, it was like a spider's web of pipes and rubber tubes coming off of it, and kind of as a goof, I'd pull that thing down, and I'd pull the skinny tube out, and I would start doing that little thing, doing a little fake march. But you know what's funny is I opened up August 31st, and what did I see? Boom! I saw the goofy trumpet. Now, I don't know if the trumpet can be applied to anything in the reading today. At least I couldn't wrap my head around it. But for me, that was the synchronicity. I heard that song. I remembered that memory. I opened the book, and I saw the trumpet. And so for me, that was some synchronicity. And I know you might just think coincidence, but you know what's funny is a lot of them are lining up for me as I do these birthday reads. Maybe they'll line up for you too if you just open yourself up to it. Who's to say? But enough with the stories, with the goofing around, with the stream about the Lego build and the super blue moon, rather. Oh, I keep doing it wrong. There it is. That's reversed on me. Let's dive into your birthday, all right? August, oh no. Your month is August, your day is the 31st, and your sign is 6 to 9 degrees Virgo, of the Virgo I period specifically, and your quality and element is mutable earth. All right, August 31st, the day of the public appearance. Those born on August 31st are very much concerned with being in the public eye themselves and or helping others to make their way in society. And those born on this day are usually people who find themselves deeply involved with events occurring around them. Not only are they inevitably drawn to the main currents of life, but they are also fated to stand out. Maybe like a trumpet, and that might be it. Sometimes in a quiet way from those around them. August 31 people are entertaining, simply fun to be around. Others are more serious and concerned with improving the lot of those around them, particularly children, it says in parentheticals. The more entertaining type loves to perform and lift the spirits of his or her family and friends. The more serious type is more interested in educating others, whether through example or by actively promoting principles and or knowledge. And regardless of how they express themselves socially, those born on this day are most often found working in the service of their fellow human beings, trying to improve the general state of things through their efforts. August 31 people know what makes others tick. Whether as parents, performers, bosses, or teachers, they are psychologically astute, able to understand and influence the thoughts and moods of others, and perhaps to enlighten them. However, at a certain point, August 31 people have to ask themselves whether they haven't built up a dependency on getting the attention of others. And at this point, often at a midlife crisis, around the age 42, Uranus and Saturn opposites, it says in parentheticals, they may decide to become a bit more interested in their own personal development, turn inward and limit some of their social preoccupations. August 31 people have an attractive air about them which most people like, and they have a kind of quiet and solid charm that invariably attracts others to them. Therefore, although they are good team members, their lot is often to become leaders. Such a position of leadership suits their talents, organizational skills, and decision-making ability. To name two, it says, but on the other hand, may be stressful for their personality. Generally, August 31 people display an aversion to ostentation. In fact, where pretension and hypocritical behavior are concerned, August 31 people are sharply critical. Their remarks and comments can have a strong, ironic, or even acerbic tone, and their barbs penetrate deeply. Those born on this day may have to learn to be a bit more tactful and exercise a greater degree of restraint in their language. Generally, August 31 people do not have difficulty finding their way in the world, and their great struggle, however, will be to reconcile their public commitments and their private wishes and needs. Having a getaway to escape to, a cherished hobby, or a secret role which they play far from the public eye is often essential to their psychological well-being. And indeed, the push-pull effect of needing to accommodate both public and private concerns can occasion interesting arrangements in lifestyle. Well, all right, how about that for a birthday read? Quite dynamic and interesting. Maybe you can see where the trumpet came in. All right. Hey, what did I have to say about your birthday? I'm going to dive in with those notes I mentioned earlier. All right. August 30, the day of the public appearance. So very concerned with being in the public eye and helping others make their way in society, and whether restrained or entertaining, serious or fun, to try and improve things for others. Very notable, I would say. But hey, somebody gets neglected in that, so be mindful. So focus on acts of service, it sounds like, all right, which is not only admirable, but as I hear it told by a lot of wise individuals, a key to happiness, all right, and personal well-being to boot. And if one can get away from the what's in it for me mentality, it's all the better, right? But it's also interesting that they mention the different personality types in this entry, as a lot of times the reading can be very one-sided, seemingly as if everybody born on that day has those qualities. And I would say sometimes that's really not the case. But here nor there, they did venture into the two different types. And a lot of times they just focus on the higher or lesser evolved, but they don't distinguish between different personalities. But in that way, it could be a bit hard to open up to if you're not really one for the, astrology mind. But I like that they open that up here today. Let's see here. But the reading also goes on to say that August 31 people know what makes others tick, right? Which is hard to believe applies writ large, but let's just assume that to be the case. But to that end, I think it's important to recognize this and asking yourself whether you've built up a dependence on garnering people's attention. That's a very interesting thing to keep in mind or ask yourself. I know when I would do like an improv class, I'd go in and I would be up there and be funny and do all the stuff that I thought improv was kind of about. And at one point, someone pulled me aside and says, you need to stop trying to be funny. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Because you're using it as a, a filter or like a mask, if you like. So maybe you should try being a little more vulnerable. I'm just, okay. I mean, I thought I was in certain cases, but here nor there. This is they're not about me. But that's just something to be mindful of. Maybe hearing as much helps you figure that out. It says, what else here? Outline here. I see a value in acts of service, but I'm much more firmly rooted in the camp of personal evolution. So sure, you can always help folks, but your well-being is important too. And when that's in good standing, the others probably benefit even more. It's easy, maybe you're not having a good time at home or things aren't going well for you. Well, you can just put that aside and go help other people as like a distraction. But I say you need to face down what's bothering you, right? Get your own stuff going. Keep it on track. And because you know what? You might be a little short-tempered even though you're helping people out because you're dealing with all that other garbage. But if you deal with the stuff at home, get your personal stuff in order, it's going to benefit everyone else too. Because like I said, maybe you won't be short-tempered, needless to say. But I put myself firmly in the camp of personal evolution. Because I don't know, I'm the only one I got here. So, but maybe you got a bunch of other people. So I don't know. Again, just take it as something to consider. But it says also you're a natural leader. How about that? And as a natural leader, I figure you want your head in good and well-developed place to get back on that personal development. But you're off to a great start if you can stand hypocrisy and call it out. That's the earmarks of a good leader, in my opinion. Because if you're going to criticize others for it, you're probably mindful of it yourself when you do it. That's right. Because we're all guilty, right? All right, in any event. A little disjointed with the notes, but I thought I brought it together. So let's dive in with your numbers and your planets. All right, your numbers and planets. Those born on the 31st of any month are ruled by the number 4, as 3 plus 1 equals 4. We didn't quite roll that today, so there's no synchronicity there, but here nor there. That doesn't necessarily matter. All right, 2 and 3 for 5. By the planet Uranus, ruled by the planet Uranus. And since only 7 months have a 31st day, it is a bit of an unusual number for a birthday. And the people born on these days are often equally unusual and hard to fathom. And those ruled by the number 4 can be difficult or argumentative since they so often see things differently from others. They also take rejection very hard. Quick and explosive Uranus impulses may be reflected in sudden change of mood, and this quality is accentuated for August 31 people by the changeable traits of Virgo's ruler Mercury and its close association with Uranus in matters of communication. All right. Well, what I have to say about your numbers and your planets. The number 4 and Uranus, the explosive and argumentative 31. Number 4, as of the number 4 draw on Uranus, they draw an erratic side instead of an argumentative side. But the number 4 proper usually. But I reckon we're a bit argumentative too, because I'm a number 4 myself. I got the erratic. They didn't put that here. But the book just avoided erratic for the 31 that I've tended to notice. So maybe it's a little bit different, even though you draw that 4. But this taking rejection hard part is interesting. At least I think so, okay? At least personally, all right? I want to say I remember it being mentioned before. Maybe it was on a 31, but it might be a new note. So maybe just for you specifically, who's to say? But I feel like I take it pretty hard. Let's see here. But be mindful those explosive changes in mood, all right? Apparently emphasized with Mercury, but that lends a mental quickness also. Mercury does. The ruler of Virgo. So maybe a decent trade-off, question mark. Certainly a plus if your communication skills are also enhanced by old Uranus there. So who's to say? We got to take what we can get, right? All right, hey, let's dive in with your tarot card. The more eclectic of the metaphysical ideologies, at least by my mind, but it's in the book, it's fun, it's free, interesting to see what they have to say if we don't know anything about tarot. So let's dive in, shall we? All right. The fourth card of the major arcana is the Emperor, who rules over concrete and worldly things through wisdom, the primary source of his power. The Emperor is stable and wise. The force of his authority cannot be questioned. And the positive associations of this card are strong willpower and steadfast energy. Unfavorable qualities include stubbornness, tyranny, and even brutality. All right, how about that for a tarot card? It was a little quick, fast, down and dirty. I didn't really personalize it for you, but that's why I'm here, right? The Emperor for that rule over worldly matters with wisdom, stability, and authority. They cannot be questioned. That must be that leadership role you got there. Bringing willpower and energy and all qualities anyone would envy. All right. And I say the struggle is finding a passion to direct said energy. All right. So as to make the best use of it. There's so many people that want to get things done and they have things to get done, but they don't have the energy. It's just not there. They can't get out of bed or whatever it might be. And I could see one of the pitfalls with you being, hey, I've got energy in spades. I just don't know where to put it. So something to be mindful, but maybe not, and maybe and hopefully not the case. Let's see, what else do I have here? Whilst avoiding and being mindful. Oh yeah, so be mindful of the stubbornness and the tyranny. You don't want to be one of them authoritarian leaders, right? Who just does what they want. We'll see what happens here later. I think there's something mentioned about it. All right, let's dive in with your health. I was getting ahead of myself there for a moment. Let's dive in with your health. August 31 people must beware of problems with their digestive system, particularly the stomach, intestines, liver, and pancreas. Prone to diet-related diseases such as diabetes, they must also guard against stomach and duodenal ulcers, which can result from their intense public life. Yoga and meditation are particularly recommended for those born on this day, who will benefit from a private life in which their spiritual side gets a chance to express itself. Regular vacations are also strongly recommended, and special diets may be required by a physician or nutritional advisor. Daily walks will work wonders psychologically as well as physically. All right. What I have to say about your health? Digestive problems, eh? A lot of diet restrictions popping up as of recently, too. Maybe a Virgo thing. Who's to say? I know yesterday's was the same way. A lot of dietary restrictions, so be mindful. Let's see. Though yoga and meditation haven't been mentioned for quite some time, so maybe take that into account. Who's to say? Maybe that would be most beneficial for you. They usually don't mention it unless that's the case, supposedly. But walking has been mentioned here just the other day, so maybe that also is something that might benefit you greatly, because otherwise it's not really mentioned all that often. But yes, mind you that mindfulness and lean into some spiritual evolution. And why do I say that? Well, it says you already rule over the concrete world through wisdom, right? So why not go after the spiritual world? You got to conquer it all, right? That's right. But that said, got to expand your horizons and your personal awareness, all right? And everyone stands to benefit. I'd assume if you adapt that to your acts of service. That's right. Open yourself up to a whole new realm of consciousness. Hopefully. That's right. All right, hey, let's dive in. Some advice. That's right. Seek inner guidance. Spend more time alone with yourself and lessen your need for the approval or attention. Find a good balance between fun and responsibility and cultivate your appreciation of others. Well, how about that? Real quick, in and out. But they drilled down on the spiritual side and also, hey, having fun, but being responsible, right? That's right. Yeah. Okay, what did I say in the notes? I was trying to ad-lib it all. Said and said, inner guidance, time alone, but definitely explore that need for acceptance, as previously mentioned. It might be something worthwhile and worth your time. You never know what you might gain out of whatever you decide to go after. But I'm sure you know that, says you're all very wise, right? Okay, let's dive in with your meditation. All right. Do you know the story of the city mouse and the country mouse? Question mark. Once again, do you know the story of the city mouse and the country mouse? That's your meditation, I guess, though it just seems like a question for you to go explore the story of the city mouse and the country mouse. And I went and read it, and you know what? I couldn't get anything out of it myself. I mean, there is a little moral to the story, but I couldn't see a connection here. Maybe that's just for you, though, because it is your birthday. Maybe I'm not meant to understand or take anything from it, as ascribes to what we've gone over. Here nor there. That's your meditations for you to ponder. All right, let's dive in with your strengths and your weaknesses. Your strengths, you're dynamic, you're influential, and you're fun. And your weaknesses. You ready? All right. You're frazzled, socially dependent, and caustic. Ooh, you're caustic. You like to burn things, huh? They said you traded barbs, right? Penetrating barbs, that's right. Any event, hey, everyone's got strengths and weaknesses. It's good to be mindful of them, right? Okay, let's move on to those born on this day. I'd like to take a moment when we get into those born on this day and ask the question, or maybe not ask a question, advance the idea that we figure out what our passions are, right? And sometimes a lot of us don't know. So I kind of lead with the example of saying I've met a lot of people outside in life, and I ask them what they do, whether they like it, and they tend not to. And the reason, hey, we all got things that come up, and we just don't have the time to put in the work to help us figure out what we want to do in life. And you know what? If we're advancing towards something that we want to do, it generally makes for better well-being, right? So here was my idea. Let's get into those born on this day to see who not only shares your company, but also what they did with their lives, what put them on the map, got them in the book, if you like. And maybe if you're one of those folks who's struggling with the pitfall of not knowing what to do with themselves, or they don't even have a passion or something to drive for, maybe you can take some inspiration. That's right. But we also just like to see what lottery withdrew with those born on this day. All right. We have Maria Montessori, an educator, physician, rehabilitator of children. We also have Hermann Ludwig Ferdinand von Helmholtz, a German mathematician, physiologist, anatomist, a physicist, and he wrote Physiology of Optics on the Sensations of Tone. All right, there. Loaded gentleman there. Get your passions from that. We also have Edwin Moses, a U.S. Olympic hurdler, two-time gold medalist, undefeated for 10 years and 122 races, it says. And here was the tyrannical thing that sparked my mind here. Cassius Caesar Caligula. He was a Roman emperor. And he's famous for a lot of other things, but doesn't mention any of them. Anyway, go look up Caligula. Let's see about that tyranny there. All right, we have DuBose Hayward, a poet, playwright, and a novelist of Porgy. We also have Frank Robinson, the baseball outfielder, and a Triple Crown winner, and a fourth all-time in home runs, and the first African-American manager in a Major League Baseball. We also have James Coburn, who's a film actor, Richard Gere, a film actor, Eldridge Cleaver, was an African-American activist and writer of Soul on Ice. We also have Itzhak Perlman, an Israeli-American violinist. And we also have Van Morrison, the singer-songwriter, the Lizard King, right? Oh, no, that was... that's not Van Morrison. You know who I'm talking about. All right, Van Morrison was the brown-eyed girl singer. That's right. Wilhelmina, Queen of the Netherlands for 50 years. We have Frederick March, film stage actor. Richard Basehart, film TV actor. Sir Bernard Lovell. We have British radio astronomer. The Exploration of Space in Radio is what they wrote. We have William Sarian, a Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright and novelist of the human comedy. And we also have Alan J. Lerner, a lyricist. Alma Schindler, Alma Schindler, Mayer, Werfel, Gropius. Oh, boy. That is a mouthful. Jeez. She was an Austrian composer and wife of 3 great artists. 3 of them. We have Paul Winter, a saxophonist, composer of the Paul Winter Consort. We also have Jean Bellevue, who was a Canadian hockey center. I'm probably butchering all these names tonight. He led Montreal to 10 Stanley Cups. So I should know his name. But hey, I butchered them all. So let's go through and chop the company logo on account of me getting it all wrong there. In any event, hey, I believe we've gone through your birthday here. Your season is summer. That's right. Your sign, once again, is Virgo. Of the Virgo I period specifically, and your quality and elements is mutable earth. All right, hey, this has been The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and you, Stelfers, for August 31st, the day of the public appearance. I have an affiliate link for this book down in the description if you want to get your own copy and explore it on your time, perhaps a heck of a lot quicker than I just did. But it makes a great addition to your bookshelf, or if you grace it on your coffee table. And you know what? It's going to get the ice broke if you have a party or company. I don't know for better or worse sometimes, depending upon the birthday, but it's going to get that conversation flowing regardless. So in any event, hey, I just want to take a moment to once again say, most importantly, happy birthday, all right? And don't you forget the super blue moon. I always point in the wrong direction on this thing. Yeah, it was the day of the super blue moon. So your birthday, it was a celestial event, believe it or not. In any event, hey, for everyone else who joined us to celebrate August 31st, I hope you enjoyed yourselves and hope to see you on your birthday. And you take care of yourselves, everybody. And once again, happy birthday.